Hey everybody, my name's Ian. I don't know much. Here's something I do know. Doing it alone sucks. Trying to do everything in life, trying to be everything for everybody sucks. And I feel like men so often get put in that position to feel like we have to do it all. We have to be it all for everybody. And I can't tell you how many guys I speak to. No, I'm not saying women don't feel this way, but specifically talking about men, I cannot tell you how many guys I've talked to, and I felt this way too, right? That we have to do everything. We have to be everything for everybody at all points in time. And there's a lot of times where we don't get the ability, we don't get the flexibility, the freedom to not be okay, to not feel okay, to not show up every day. Now, this isn't always true for everybody, but in a large sense, I can't tell you how many people I know that are guys that don't have the ability to not be okay, regardless if they're not okay. The reality that we know, right, like esoterically removed from us is absolutely it's okay to be not okay. But for us to show that, no, man, like not at all. And there's a movement talking about like, hey, it's okay, emotions are fine. But the reality of it is, when I speak to most women, they look at a man that has those kind of feelings that's like, fuck, it sucks, very negatively. And oftentimes they're not doing it consciously. It's a subconscious thing. Men have been trained and women have been trained. We've been trained to exist in this way. And the reality is it sucks. The reality is doing it alone, being everything for everybody at all points in time is not sustainable. It doesn't work. And it's so sad when you see people, men and women, but they burn out. They just fucking get scrubbed down to a nub. And like, what do you end up with, man? You don't end up with anything left. And don't get me wrong, like doing it for our kids, doing it for our spouses, doing it for our family and our community, there's fulfillment in that. But when was the last time you did it for you? When was the last time you showed up just for you? When was the last time? And now when you really sit down and think about it, you're like, oh, I did it for this person, or I did this for this person, or I kind of did this. Maybe you're lucky and it's something that's happened. But number one, you're not fucking alone. Don't try to do it alone. If it's not your spouse that you can reach out to, one, you got to check that shit, figure out what's going on. And you should have like a community, right? It should be a pair, not just two separate entities. That's one. But two, like creating a community, specifically creating a community of like-minded people, like-minded men who will push you, who will be there for you, who will be compassionate, but also kick you in your ass. Because if you're like me, I need the compassion and I also need the ass whooping, man. There's two sides to that coin, and it's okay when you're not okay. But when you're being a bitch, you need to be told you're being a bitch. Period. Dot. Right? There are some times where you need to get up and just fucking get it done. There are times where that happens, and there are times where it's okay to not be okay. And you need a community, you need a support network to tell you, hey, it's okay, or you're being a bitch, right? And it goes back and forth, but having that dichotomy, that back and forth is so incredibly valuable. Now, maybe you have some friends and maybe you have some business people that you associate with or work folk or however you want to frame that in your own head. But my challenge to you is find people who are moving forward, who are creating and developing and doing more with their lives, who can be that person for you. Because either you're moving forward or you're moving backwards. There is no middle ground, right? I don't know much, but I know that.